In today's episode, I'm going to go over how to use the evil twin attack. The evil twin attack is a very interesting technique or method a hacker can deploy in order to essentially capture or gather the credentials of a network so they can essentially get into the network later on with those passwords. From the perspective of a hacker, the evil twin attack is pretty loud. I mean, I personally like to use this as a last means of resort. Like, I would try to exhaust all the techniques I can deploy before I use the evil twin attack, because you'll see that it's going to be pretty loud and pretty obvious from the end user when they try to connect to the internet. They'll notice some activity that they're not used to, so it's pretty obvious that something is different on their network. But it's a good way to get the password from the target if you cannot successfully gather it by doing other attacks, such as a WPA attack or a WEP attack or a WPS attack, etc. Sometimes you could possibly capture a handshake using those attacks, but then you need to have a dictionary to cross-reference that capture, that PCAP file, and no matter how big your dictionary list is, sometimes you're not going to be successful at cracking that PCAP file, because you need to have the right password. The case may be that the password is so complex, or just simply that the password dictionary doesn't have that password in it. It's so unique and different. So if that's the case, then the evil twin attack might be your choice of attack to use. In today's video, I'm going to go over a pretty cool tool called Airgeddon. And Airgeddon is a tool that is pre-installed on Kali Linux, but you can install it if you have various flavors of Linux. If it's Debian based, you can just simply do a sudo apt install Airgeddon. You can install this on Mac OS with Brew. So it's a pretty cool tool to use, and there's a few things that you gotta know before deploying this attack. Number one is that you need to have the right hardware. It's really important to have the proper network adapters, because you're not going to be able to be successful if you don't have the right hardware. In order to deploy this attack, you need to have a network adapter that allows monitoring mode. It also allows packet injection and the ability to do VLAN, virtual LAN. This is just like one adapter that I use a lot of times. It's a pretty popular adapter. It's a USB dongle adapter, TP-Link. This particular one, see it, TP-Link, TL-WN722N as in Nancy, and this particular one is the TP-Link 1.0 series. So it's important because the 1.0 allows monitoring mode. The other 2.0, 3.0, and so on does not have that ability. So you need to get the 1.0 version. So this allows packet injection, monitoring mode, and VLAN ability. Another good company is Alpha. Alpha adapters are really well known in the hacking world. They have a lot of network adapters that allow all three of these services: VLAN, monitoring mode, packet injection. Right now, I have on this laptop, for example, I have an Alpha adapter that has 4 antennas, and you can see 2 of them are dedicated to a B network, other 2 are dedicated to a G network. And I also like to use, like on this laptop, I have another network adapter installed as well, and it's a Alpha adapter. This particular model is a AWUS 836NEH. dash 003. And this is a good dongle as well. This doesn't have an antenna on it, but you can just install an antenna. The longer, the better strength antenna, the better results you're going to get. So it's a good one. And there's just a bunch of them out there. But do your homework and try to find the right adapter. You really want to get an adapter that is well known. You just Google it. Google out there and see what are the recommended adapters that are useful for Airgeddon, and you'll see there's a lot of pages dedicated for sharing that information. But in this case, I have actually 4 adapters installed on this network, on this laptop, and you'll see when we deploy it, we need to put one of them in monitor mode at least, and you need to have at least 2 network adapters. The prerequisite is 2 network adapters, because you're going to see that one of them is going to be doing one service while the other one is going to be hosting a whole different services. So you need to have 2 adapters. So without further ado, let me go and share my screen and open up a terminal session and try to deploy Airgeddon. And to deploy, just do a sudo Airgeddon, right arrow, and auto complete that. Then you put your password in, and then you'll see the Airgeddon screen pops up. I think the developers were really fascinated with UFOs, so every screen you'll see like a UFO kind of hovering up and down. That's funny. So anyways, it goes through a series of checks when you first deploy it. It's in root permission. That's successful. It's been detected. Good. Resolution. Yes. Okay. Good. And it's going to share the OS or detect the OS. And this is Kali Linux. And now it's going to go, after you press enter, it's going to go through a series of checks to see what scripts are installed and what is needed. So essentially, Airgeddon is just a host of a bunch of different scripts put all into one program. It's going to use a bunch of different services and scripts, and it needs the assistance of various scripts in order for it to be successful. It has a list of essential tools, so it first checks those essential tools. You'll see if you have IW, if you have awk, if you have airmon-ng, aerodump-ng, aircrack-ng, xterm, IP, ls, PCI, PS. So essential tools that it needs in order for Airgeddon to work are those. And then it's going to also see optional tools. Does it have bettercap installed? Does it have ettercap, DNS mask, so on and so on, beef-xss, hashcat, Reaver, etc. So it's always good to have all these installed, because if this is the first time you're running this program, you're going to see sometimes not all of those scripts are installed. So you might see like a in the color red, it might say like not installed or something like that. But if it's stating that they're not installed, you want to open up another terminal and try to do a sudo apt install whatever the case may be that's missing from Airgeddon, and then try to install that one by one until you get everything that's checked off and everything says okay. Install it. Open up Airgeddon and let it go through its checks again until you see everything it says okay and you're good to go. I like to have everything installed, so I know I'm not going to have any issues, but the more services installed, the more merrier you're going to be, and the less problems you're going to have when you're trying to penetrate or hack into the network you're trying to get into. So let's go and let's press enter when we're ready. And then next series of options, it's going to state that I have a whole bunch of network adapters on this laptop. So starting with one is the Ethernet adapter, and then I have four wireless adapters. Number 5 is already in monitor mode. But if you don't have it in monitor mode, you have the option of changing your network adapter into monitor mode, because you're going to need to have one of your network adapters to be in monitor mode. But you can see 2, 3, and 4; those are in managed mode. and 5 in monitor mode. So it says it's just showing the list, and when you're ready, just press enter. Oh, I'm sorry, not enter. Take that back. It's going to say what device do you want to select as your primary device, and I'm going to use 5, the network adapter that's in monitor mode. There we go. Okay, now we're good to go. And then it's going to ask what kind of attack do we want to deploy. So the AirGun is not specifically made just for a evil twin attack. It could do a bunch of different attacks, as you saw it previously in the first page, that you had a whole host of scripts that you need to have installed and some options to have them installed, and as you can imagine, it can do a bunch of other things. So it doesn't just do a evil twin attack, but it can also do, like, for example, a WPS attack. AirGun can also do web attacks. AirGun can also do WPA2 attacks. You can do denial of service attacks. You can do the latest PMKID attacks, or just your general handshake attacks. And you can even do enterprise attacks, which is really interesting because a lot of these real secure networks are enterprise enabled. So it has some tools that can try to penetrate an enterprise level attack. But for this video's purposes, I'm going to go and use a evil twin attack. So we want to go to the evil twin attack menu, which is option 7, and press 7, enter. And then it's going to also give us a whole host of options, 0 through 9. There's from 5 to 9, those are just the different kind of evil twin attacks that are available. If you just want to do evil twin attack, just the access point itself, you do 5. If you want to do just the evil twin attack access point with sniffing only, you do 6. 7 is evil twin attack access point with sniffing and better cap with SSL strip 2. Number 8 has the essential same thing but with beef. And then number 9 is what we want to do in this video, is an evil twin attack with a captive portal. And so that's probably the scenario we want to go for, is the evil twin attack that displays a captive portal, because a captive portal basically is a page that will pop up to the target. So I don't know if you've ever been to like a coffee shop or a hotel, and then you try to connect to their internet, and then before you're able to surf on the internet, you'll get a little portal page pop up, and on that portal page, it'll kind of maybe give you a little disclaimer, and then they want your consent to use their internet, and so you'll click on that consent page, and then you're able to surf the web. So what we're going to do is we're going to deploy this attack, and we're going to have something similar to that. It's going to be a portal page that'll pop up, except this portal page is going to be kind of notifying the target, the end user, that his router or access point needs maintenance, and in order for him to use the internet or go forward, he has to put in his password. So our hopes is that he'll put in that password, and then that password will get relayed back to us, and then we'll know what the password is. But before we can get all that and do all that, we want to verify that password is the correct password. And the way we're going to verify that the password is correct is by first doing a handshake attack. So we're going to essentially capture the handshake of that network. When we're ready, we're going to first select what we want to do, and number 9 is going to be the evil twin with the captive portal, and it's notifying us that monitor mode is needed, which we already are in monitor mode. So we'll press 9, enter, and then it's going to say the exploration looking for target is going to be done. So again, we're going to look for targets that we're going to try to capture the handshake. So the network that we want to attack, we need to first get a handshake, a capture handshake packet from them. That it's a set of it's just a encrypted password from the network we're going to try to capture. So we press enter, and then it's going to say WPA3 filter enable is scanned. When started, press Control C to stop. Just enter, and then you can see that it's going through a scan, And obviously, we're going to select the network that belongs to us. We never want to select a network that's not authorized or does not belong to us. I'm PJ the Good Hacker, so I always try to emphasize good hacking ethical practices, and this is just for this content is just for knowledge. It's good to know what a hacker or a bad guy can do, and what are the latest techniques and tactics a hacker can do. So you can hopefully patch up your network or teach this to others, so you can be a good cybersecurity expert. But when you're ready, when you're done scanning, I would always wait a good minute, and then I press Control C when I'm done, and that will stop the scan. So let's do Control C, and you'll see that it'll show a list of. Let me go back. I'm sorry. Let me go back, and you'll see right now. Then it'll show you a whole list of networks that it was able to scan, and the orange ones are the ones that it recommends for you to select based on a few different parameters, like whether it may be the security, the power that it has, or just it gives you the best recommendation. So in our case, since we're going to select our network, we're going to choose number 28. You can see that has a power strength of 88%, which is awesome. That's the best out of the whole bunch. And so let's go 28. And then it's going to give us options to deploy certain attacks. Do you want it to be? Do you want to use a DAuth attack with a disassociation, AMOC, MDK4 attack? Just these are three different variations of this WPA attack. It also will try to do a PMKID attack as well. So it'll try to capture the handshake using either a WPA attack or a PMKID at the same time. So pick 1 through 3. If number 1 doesn't work and you're not successful, you can do it again. Try number 2 and so on up to 3. But let's go up to number 1. And it's going to ask us, do you want to enable DOS pursuit, denial of service? This launch will again the attack if the access point changes at the channel countering, channel hopping. So just first press yes if you want to do DOS pursuit mode. And then it's going to ask us select another wireless device, because you're going to need 2 devices, as I said. So I'm going to choose another alpha adapter number 1. The interface is not in monitor mode. It's going to try to change it for us automatically. That's fine. Now it's in monitor mode. Press enter. And do you want to spoof your MAC address? You can press yes or no, but I'm not going to spoof the MAC address, but you can if you want. Do you already have a handshake captured? If you already have one, you don't have to go through this process of capturing the handshake, but in my case, I don't have the handshake yet, so we're going to press no. How many seconds do you want this to perform for? I always try to do 100, the max amount. And then when you're ready, press enter, and then you can see it's trying to capture the handshake right now. And notes, if you see the last column, or one before the last column, notes, it says PMKID. That's great. It's already captured a handshake, and now you can see it says type the path to store the file. By default, it'll choose a location for you, and it's going to name the handshake based on the MAC address of the device that it captured from. So you can just press enter, and then it's just telling you that it's generated successful. You got a handshake. That's good. We're one step further of being successful. Press enter to continue, and it'll just give us a little brief summary of what happened. The BSS ID, which is the MAC address of the network, what channel it was from, an actual ESS ID name, the network name. And then if the password for the Wi-Fi network is achieved with the captive portal, you must decide where to save it to. And then again, by default, it chooses a location for you. If you want, you could go ahead and type the location, or if you want to leave it by default, which I will do right now, just press enter. And then it's going to say the path is valid and you have right permissions. Scripts can continue, and then when you're ready, you just press enter and it'll continue, and then it's going to actually go through the actual evil twin attack. So when we're ready, let's press enter. Actually, before that, it's going to say what language do you want this evil twin attack to be? Do you want it to be English, Spanish, French, so on and so on? In our case, we're going to do 1 for English. So the portal attack will have English language. And then it's essentially telling us we're ready. We have the captured file. Now it's going to say multiple windows will be opened. Don't close any of them until you're successful of capturing that password. So you're going to see right now, I think six terminal screens are going to pop up. Each of them having different services. One of them is going to be a DNS server. One of them is going to be a DHCP server. One of them is going to be a web server. One of them is going to have a denial of service mode screen. The other one's going to have a BSS ID. It's just going to show all the activity, what's going on. So when we're ready, just press enter, and we're going to see. Okay, here we go. Got one screen. The access point, it's enabled. That's good. Green means it's enabled and it's working fine. DHCP just popped up. The control panel at the top right, and DNS underneath, web server. I think there's one more screen that's going to pop up. Let's see. Maybe not. So anyways, we got, so it's deploying right now, and we can look at the network and we can see what it's doing, and DNS is the actual DNS activity of the network, and the more active the network is, the more successful you're going to probably be at collecting this password. But if you wait, you'll see some activity, and sometimes it might take you some time. You're not going to get this password instantly. You might have to wait up to a good 30-40 minutes, maybe more even. Just depends on how many devices are connected on that network. But when you're successful, you'll see attempts. You'll hopefully see 1 or 2, whatever the case may be. That means that the target is putting in the password, and once they put in that password, if it's going to be successful, you'll get a message saying that it's been a success. And basically what happens is that encrypted password that you've captured previously from the handshake is going to compare with the decrypted password that the end user, the target, has provided from this evil twin attack. And then it's going to kind of compare both of these, the encrypted with the decrypted password. If they check off both, then it's a success, and then you got the password. And everything will cut off on the side of the target, and your services will also cut off. The end user won't know what happened, but us, we knew what happened, and we got the password, and it's been a success. So that was a kind of a quick summary of how the evil twin attack works. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe to my content, or to my channel, and I'll provide more videos. And give me a thumbs up. The more subscribers, the more thumbs up, I will make more videos as I see the progress going. So again, thank you. Be a good hacker and hack on.